Scotland against Portugal. The Scots lost their first match in Switzerland. This was the first game for the Portuguese. Commentary from Davies. But first, there was a minute's silence for a former great Rangers and Scotland hero, Willie Waddle, who sadly died earlier today.
There are 4 changes in the Scottish team compared with the match in Bern. Derek White and Craig Levein come into the defence in place of the injured McPherson and the suspended Goff. And in attack, Kevin Gallagher starts in place of Gordon Durie, who's recovering from a minor knee operation, and Celtic's John Collins is preferred to Manchester United's Brian McClair. Portugal's coach, Carlos Queiroz, has built his reputation on success at youth level, with 2 World Cup successes and 3rd place in the Under-16 Championships held here in Scotland in 1989. He's opted for 4 players in their 30s in a lineup in which gaining a point looks the first priority. For all that, the Scots will have a wary eye on this fellow, the gifted Paulo Futre. The officials all come from Austria, with the referee Hubert Forstinger. It's a very small crowd. Minimum cost for a seat, and it is an all-seated crowd, was £12. And it would seem that 1 or 2 Rangers supporters are keeping their money for next Wednesday's European Cup tie with Leeds United here. Derek White, capped for the first time for Scotland since he joined Middlesbrough. Went to the European Championships, but didn't play. Changed his club after coming back. Flick in by Pineda. And Hoist. Gallagher for company, so plenty of pace up front for the Scots. That's the experienced Veloso. Made his debut for Scotland. Veloso back in November for Portugal against Scotland back in November 1981. No free kick, and rightly so. Collins in the action without actually being able to contribute too much so far. Kick is given. The challenge by Oceano. There's McCall. Boyd playing on the left, he played on the right against Switzerland. And his failure to cut out a crossfield ball proved very costly. Here's McStay. Good height, Oceano, on that header. And the first corner off Fernando Couto. Craig Levein has come up onto the near post and gets the flick. And the goalkeeper was beaten by it. McCoist tries to knock it back, but the linesman indicating either that the ball had gone out or that there was a bit of pushing, I'm not sure which. But clearly won by Levein. And in comes McCoist. Well, I can only assume that it was for a bit of pushing that the infringement was given. Tanera. Luciano was inside. This is Domingos. Jean Pinto. A lot of curl on that. And in the end there was a bit too much curl, and Jose Semedo struggled to get the header on it. A vicious curl, took it away from the goalkeeper, but it was just a bit too much for the striker as well. Stay takes over. Derek White. Pineda so far operating exclusively on this right side. Not a soul there in a Portuguese shirt. Malpas. Peel away by two players. Gallagher down the middle, got a touch to that. He applauds the pass, which was an excellent one from Maurice Malpas. They do look a little vulnerable down the middle. He was a little unlucky then, the Coventry player. Going to return to their seats. Boyd seeing a lot of the ball. White, next day, Andre at him and trying to grab him. McCall, a little unaware of the possibilities there, it seemed. Semedo, they pack players into midfield, and that's at times making it difficult for Scotland. Now McCoist, sliding challenge. That brings the free kick. It's committed by Elder on McCoist, who did not appreciate that one little bit. Too many prisoners taken when they're under pressure. Collins may be fancying his chances. He is. I think it's going to be, yes it is, it's Gallagher's coming off, and the feeling is that it's a hamstring pull that has produced a change. Very disappointing for Kevin Gallagher. Into the starting lineup. Promised to alongside McCoist, but forced because of injury to come off. Jean Pinto. Pinera's seen the ball for some little time. Cutting crossfield ball. Foot. Back again for Futre. And he made too much of that, Futre. And the referee wants to talk to him. And I think Futre's going to be booked. The pass from Semedo was just a little bit too long. And the challenge for the ball, and Futre going down afterwards. The referee judging that he dived and has booked him for ungentlemanly conduct. McCoist, McAllister. Jean Pinto. Panera. Domingos. They give support for him. He doesn't release the ball. Fascinating how well the Portuguese have adapted to the pace of the contest. Hasn't done quite a lot to create it. Too far into the way that one normally expects to see a Latin side play. Panera hits the cross. Malpas with the header. McCall needs to be careful. Free kick as Andre comes tumbling down. It was a bit spectacular. But the referee was right, I think. Last time Koto had a crack. Might still, he's just away from a group of four. It's played over to the right. Well, the shot in fact was to Jean Pinto, and it produces an excellent save from Andy Gordon. Gets a good hand from the crowd and marks his 25th appearance with a very good stop. Jean Pinto curls away and the goalkeeper claims. Scottish midfield, as against Switzerland, is busy but not particularly inventive. And this time the challenge was from White. And the goal kick has been given. Andre's ball. White coming across. Butcher again, the Portuguese player involved. And he didn't make that as dramatic. Boyd, so often the outlet when it gets so busy in the middle. And he's certainly offered a threat for Scotland. But the final ball has not been a good one. Derek White on the 6-yard line. Levine up again. And the first half comes to an end with a blank score sheet. And my feeling is that if Scotland are to get the victory from this one, they will need to use in Durant during the second half. Quite a bit of discussion during the half-time interval about the two penalty incidents, and one or two Scots prepared to admit they felt their side got away with it. The referee's decision is the one that counts, and he said that neither of two poor challenges by Levine and White justified the penalty. Boyd with his first run of the second half. He had many in the first. Gets the cross, McCoist. Good block challenge by Elder. But a goal kick is given, which surprises McCoist. And I have to say me, for what it's worth. Boyd does well, the cross at full stretch, and McCoist comes in. Elder challenged, referee said goal kick. McStay, McClare. Has to work very hard to make something of it. Still no movement on the Scottish bench. But it must be in the mind of Andy Roxburgh that he needs something different. Elder saves the corner, just. McStay did well, McCoist. Good play by the captain and the vice-captain of this side. McStay with a lovely little ball into McCoist, who turned well, but who pulled it wide of the far post. Marciano finds Veloso. Malpas. Elder. Little skip. He didn't use the ball well that time. It's a bit overhit, is it? In fact, it fell exactly where he wanted it to do. Canera's cross. Pinto again. Hood. And still. Really crisply struck shot by Paolo Foot. I think Andy Goring will be very pleased to have seen that fly wide. But now the substitution is to be made. And Durant, who came on as a substitute in Switzerland, gets his chance on his home ground, and he will replace John Collins. So Rangers player on for a Celtic player. Also available on the left if he's wanted. Domingos in possession. Figo just inside, and Futra gets away, and he's just wide. It's a good ball. An excellent position taken by Butcher. And he pulled it away from Gorham, but also away from the far post. McStay. 13 minutes to go. McClare. McAllister. Ball has been a bit too deliberate. And at the moment a bit too heated. Got the yellow card is shown to Beloso for kicking the ball away. McAllister to take. Again looking for Levine. Two marked him. Second attempt by Durant is not as good as the first. And away comes Figo. Foot. Craig Brown still doesn't have Andy Roxburgh with him down on the bench. Roxburgh watching from a higher position. Figo. Luciano. Puig. Good run by Puig. And still pulls it back. Corner. Seems to have an extra joint in his ankle, the way he gets his foot round the ball. Lovely run, all left foot. Looks up, just wants that one move too many before trying to pull it back. He left it too late. Out again. Couple of good blocks. Giampinto. Durant. Looks for McCoist and finds him. McStay did well to make that his. And then stretched too much and showed the studs. Caught his man and the free kick given. Couto with the free kick. McAllister. Foul by Figo. Boyd. McStay. Durant. And McAllister gives it away to the last man you want to give the ball to. But and still he continues the run, and surely this time is the finish, and Gorham saves with his leg. Wonderful run again after he was given possession inadvertently by McAllister. So well balanced, and this time he gets the shot in to finish, and it was kicked over by Andy Gorham. Well played, the whistle had gone for an infringement anyway. But no wonder that they say that he bears a similarity to George Best. He pulled it across the goalkeeper, who kicked it away at full stretch. White. McStay. We've had 2 minutes of stoppage time. McStay again. He started that way and he's ending this way well forward. But Scotland have not tested Vita Bahia. He hasn't had to make a save of note. And although it's early days in this qualifying competition, the suggestion is that the Portuguese are a more gifted side than the Scots, who in the end have been saved by the left leg of Andy Goram. They should be happy with their point, although the crowd of 22,583 who came to see victory will go home disappointed.
So 1 point from their first 2 games for Scotland, and we'll show you what happened in the match between Italy and Switzerland in just a moment. But first, let's have Alan Hansen's view of Scotland's performance. Now, we better ask you, marks out of 10.
I would say about 5 1/4 for that performance. But it was disappointing all round. I would be disappointed with the crowd inside the stadium for a start, 22,000.
Extraordinary, that.
After the way they performed in Sweden, you would have thought they'd be guaranteed a full house there. But certainly during the game, they never really created one chance, or one realistic good chance during the 90 minutes, which is unusual for a home side.
And they nearly gave away some penalties early on.
Yeah, well, Paulo Futre was magnificent on the night, and here he picks it up. He plays a 1-2, and he keeps on going. But his pace here is electrifying. He gives Maurice Malpass about 5-6 yards of a start, still gets to the ball first. Just toes it. And how the referee can book Futre for that, I will never know. This is the other one, ball played over the top. And again, his pace is electrifying. He takes it. Good control, close to his body. And White this time comes across. And again, it's a very, very poor challenge. And the point is, if these challenges had been in Lisbon, I'm sure the referee would have given a penalty for at least one of them.
In a sense, Scotland might have done well, because they were up against a truly world-class performer there.
Well, if you're talking about world-class players, the guy would probably never get a mention, but he really is a fantastic player. I played against him twice for Atletico Madrid.
How did you get on?
Well, once we got beaten 5-1, and he was outstanding. But he's the sort of player you would have thought that would have gone to Italy. He runs at defenders, he terrifies defenders, and really what you've got to do is you've got to try and keep on his right foot, and that's what Scotland didn't do tonight. This a prime example. He picks the ball up here, John Collins goes to him, instead of trying to put him on his right foot, he gets into his left, one step, hit, the ball bends and swerves all over the place and just past Goram's right-hand post. But this is what he's great at. He runs at defenders, he goes past White here, he comes to Malpass. Malpass just doesn't get close to him, and I thought he was unlucky. I thought he did everything right, and credit to the Scottish defender that got it away. But this is just phenomenal. Maradona in his prime would have been proud of this. He picks it up here, and it's in his own half, and he runs at the defender, he runs at Derek White. Good control, and again you've got to keep on his right foot, which he doesn't do. He comes inside, and there's nothing much you can say about this now. He just goes and goes, and the fact of the matter is nobody gets near him. He keeps going, he goes to hit it. This time he hits it, and that's a tremendous save. Yeah. But that goal, if it had gone in, would have been as good as the Maradona goal against England in the World Cup. It just was superb.
Scotland are up against it a bit now, although they've been in this position before, haven't they? This sort of poorish start.
The game next month against Italy will be a crunch game for them. I mean, if they don't win that game, then it's going to be all uphill. It's uphill as it is. 1 game, 1 point at the first 2 games. I feel they've got to beat Italy.
Okay. So Italy also in that qualifying group, and they began their campaign tonight at home to Switzerland. Brief highlights now with Ray Stubbs.
Switzerland in red, Italy in blue, and having failed to qualify for the European Championship finals in the summer, Italy went into tonight's game in Cagliari knowing they needed to convince their fans that better times were around the corner. But Switzerland demonstrated yet again the football's international pecking order isn't what it used to be. Christoph Oral putting the Swiss ahead on 17 minutes. Under their English manager Roy Hodgson, Switzerland have made a great start to their World Cup campaign. Italian goalkeeper Marco Gianni failing to deal with Suter's cross, Oral taking advantage of his absence from the goal line. 5 minutes later, Scotland's 3-1 defeat by the Swiss last month didn't seem like such a bad result when Italy went 2 down. The new back-pass law played its part, but the Italian goalkeeper Marco Gianni was having a nightmare game. He presented Chapuisat with a gift-wrap goal. The Swiss kind of expected to get such a great start to the game in Sardinia. It was Costa Curta who'd played the ball back towards his goalkeeper, determined running from Chapuisat, but Marco Gianni's first touch, an attempt to slide the ball past the incoming Swiss striker, didn't quite work out. 2-0 at half-time, all Italy in the second 45 minutes, but it was late in the game when hope sprang eternal with Lentini's deep cross to the far post. Vialli's shaved head nodded the ball back at cross. Egli could have hit it anywhere, but played it only to Roberto Baggio, who hammered Italy back into the game. 7 minutes to go. Italy were desperate to get on with it, and they got the break they needed in the final seconds. The ball falling to Aranio. The shot could have been deflected, but it was enough to give Italy a point. A real face-saver for the Italians in the last minute. They visit Scotland in a month's time.
So that's how the table looks at the moment, with Switzerland 4 points clear. The Italians did well to come back from that, but you wouldn't have expected them to be 2-0 down at home. I mean, it was a big shock.
It was a big shock, but I was happy that they came back, because I think if Switzerland had won that game, Scotland would be in big trouble. I expect Italy to qualify from the section. I think it'll be one from the other three: Portugal, Switzerland and Scotland. I think it's all uphill for Scotland, but certainly the Italians coming back in that game was a big boost for Scotland.
It's a tough group, isn't it?
It's a very strong group. Yeah. There's a lot of games to play yet, but certainly next month's game against Italy is a mega game for Scotland.
Okay, Alan, thanks very much.